Welcome back to a new video. So I'm recording this Monday a little after 10. Currently don't have a cold day for Tuesday. I was kind of hoping for one, but alas, we're going to be probably all at school tomorrow, even though it's supposed to be really cold. So be unpleasant in the morning, but won't really be too big of a deal since, being inside all day. But this is my session from Sunday and Monday. Sunday was interesting. It's pretty similar to last week, but instead of doing clean jerks, I did power clean and push press. Also took some cracks at a overhead press PR. If you remember from last video, I talked about doing some close grip bench just with 135 for sets of 15 the previous day, and so my chest was really sore from that. Honestly, still is decently sore from that, and kind of, I don't want to say tight, but like that kind of soreness, if that makes sense. Like it's not just DOMs when I'm not doing anything, but if I'm stretching it, I can really feel it. Even so, on Monday, not enough to impact mobility or anything, but just something so that I'm noticing. But also in this session, it took a little while before I went to the gym. I didn't have school on Monday, so I took my time and went there, and I don't know, sometime in the evening. But the previous night, I enjoyed some ice cream as well as some margarita stuff, and I'm actually enjoying some of it now. And thankfully, still was able to train really well on this day. You see here, 100 is just moving better. I had a brief thought of trying to do it for a double, but just wasn't meant to be. And this was the first attempt at 105. I tried it again, and I really felt like I was decently close. I think it's one of the things that, like, if my chest wasn't really sore, if I hadn't trained really hard the day before, it's like one of those things that's like, if this, then this, and then this, then I might have been able to do it. But I think 105 is decently close. I think all the accessory and just the pressing and stuff in general is really starting to take hold and continue to take hold, which is nice. Here is 125, which I actually did from 1+2, which honestly I think is pretty close to my best double in the push press. And the second one is really difficult, but I was really happy with how the first rep felt. The power clean is kind of difficult, but power cleans are always kind of difficult. And you see there, obviously, really difficult rep. Not a consistent double, I would say, but definitely kind of maximal there. And then after that, I just did some bicep work, and it's really about it for that session. Still productive despite the adult beverages the day before, but I haven't really partook in that lifestyle. I don't even want to say lifestyle, it's not really the correct word, beverage in quite a while. Just had the urge and wanted to enjoy my longer weekend. But this is my Monday session. Got to the gym pretty early relative to what I normally do because of no school, and so I was able to just be lifting in the light, which is usually not the case when I get there after school. Usually snatches, it's still light out, and then it's dark pretty quick. If not, it's dark right as I'm doing my main sets. But on this day, did 5 sets 3 in the snatch, and they went really well. I was really surprised with how good they felt. Really just about every rep on every set. And then the clean jerks were at 130, where I did a clean front squat and 2 jerks. And while I wasn't as excited to do those, just because it's a more difficult lift as far as just the weight being heavier, I felt like they moved really well too. Like my jerk position is looking good. Jerks in general are just looking good right now. Squats felt really weird though. I don't know if it's because of the Saturday session being closer to that Monday one than typically, because usually Friday would be where I would do squat volume, and I might squat a little bit on Saturday, but it wouldn't be like how I did this past Saturday, where I kind of did that makeup session from Friday, or if it's just general fatigue or what. But been monitoring weight and stuff, so that hasn't really continued to be dipping down or whatever with that. And based on how the weightlifting movements moved, I thought I'd feel really good for them. But also it's kind of like that double-edged sword of the weightlifting movements went well, so that meant I'm probably a little bit more fatigued for squats. But ended up working up to 200 in the squat, and that just felt really heavy. So I stopped there and dropped down all the way to 150 actually, and kind of just had a different mindset of not necessarily trying to do like heavy rep sets, but just trying to move 150 for quick triples, or at least in my mind quick triples, and just did 5 triples there. I think that might be the mindset that I take right now as the classic lifts start to get a bit heavier. Because I mean, even on this day, doing 90 and 130 is certainly, moving obviously in the positive direction. Obviously, that's what I want to see in my training. But it's going to not facilitate me squatting as well, probably as much as, in theory I would like to. But that's just more of my ego than more than anything. If the weightlifting movements are increasing in intensity, it makes sense that the strength might dip down a little bit, or at least like, the maximal strength that I have. You might have noticed there that 110, a little gesturing after. Nice older lady was like stopping before she walked in front of my camera. I have this angle here because someone was wanted to use the dip thing. So I moved it to this spot, which is right in front of where I sit down between sets and stuff. So I really actually like this angle. It's just not really a good one to have my camera set up because it's just kind of in the way of the bench. But it just kind of was necessary since the next guy wanted to use the bench press, or not the bench press, the dip bar pull up thing, which is something I guess you don't typically see in the videos, but they're big like pull up dip bar tree thing where I usually set the camera by. But it's something that's important to be is flexible with camera placements because when you're courteous, it's just the moral thing to do. But I really wish that people would just know immediately just to walk by the camera. I always feel bad when people hesitate or wait or whatever. It's like I'd much rather if people just walk by and walk in front of the camera versus walking closer to the platform, because the camera, if I get distracted by someone walking in front of the camera, that's my fault. But if someone walks like right where that red plate is in front of the platform and I get distracted, then that's their fault. And that's kind of always been my philosophy. Like if you get really close to me while I'm lifting and I mess up or something, then that's your fault. But if my camera is just off somewhere 10 feet away or whatever, and I get distracted by that somehow, then that's certainly my fault there. But thankfully that's not usually the case. I think what probably helps with that is I'm pretty blind when I'm lifting, so when people walk in front of the camera, or at least the distance from which the camera usually is, they're not like, they're pretty blurry. I'm not seeing a lot of detail. That's why I've thought like getting LASIK and stuff in the past, but I don't know if that would actually make me worse at lifting because I would see everything. I don't know if having blurry vision is actually better for focus for me. It might be because I don't get distracted by the details of objects in front of me. And that's why I always find like a funny thing of people mentioning with lifting to like find something in front of you to focus on. Like I can't see in front of me, so everything's just kind of a blur in front of me, so I'm looking at everything and nothing at the same time. The same thing is true of competitions. Like I can kind of see the crowd, but I can't see any details or anything, so I'm just going in there not entirely blind, but certainly not with good vision. An example of that would be the two people that are in the background there. Like obviously I could see them if I'm just standing there looking at them, but if they turned around and I didn't already know who they were, I probably wouldn't be able to necessarily tell who they are. Like usually I can, there's not that many different people that are in the gym, but I wouldn't really be able to see details, like read their shirts or anything. But thankfully I always have glasses or whatever, so I'm not going blind in life. And I think a lot of my distance vision becomes worse because my eyes are just used to always having glasses, and I'm sure they would get a little better if I never wore them, but alas, I like to see, so I usually do. But really productive session. After I did these 5x3 squats, I did some band work. Actually did quite a lot, and walked for a little bit too. I did like a 20-minute walk, which ended up being like a mile. And I don't know, that was just decent pace with that, but just something extra to do. And I think was it yesterday? It might have been yesterday or the day before. I did some cardio as well, like a longer seated row. So just continue to add that in. I think that's probably one reason why the snatch and clean jerks went well, or have been going well for these like heavier or at least more difficult sets, is I'm just recovering better between sets a little bit. Maybe that's just placebo, or maybe I'm just getting stronger. It's probably a combination of that, but I think the accessories that I'm doing are helping as well. So I'm just trying to keep all of that moving in the right direction. But 2 productive days of training, and hopefully tomorrow goes well too. But tomorrow will just be pulls and presses and all that fun stuff that I normally do on Tuesdays. So nothing really that could go terribly wrong, I suppose. But anywho, it's enough rambling for me at the end. I hope you all had a good weekend, and yeah, take care. Have a good one. Peace.